Minerva McGonagall was one of our favorite teachers at Hogwarts. She's a strict and fair person. McGonagall wasn't the sort to tolerate ignorance, especially from her own staff. She knew how to help her students find their strength, along with the much needed confidence. So in today's video, I'm gonna leave McGonagall's story in the books aside and go back to explain her origins and childhood, her love story and breaking heart, working at the ministry, and all the way down to her teaching career at Hogwarts. Minerva McGonagall was born on 4 October 1935 to Robert McGonagall, a Muggle Presbyterian minister, and his wife Isabel Ross, a witch. She was the couple's first child and was named after her mother's grandmother. By then, her parents lived in the Scottish Highlands, in a village where mostly Muggles lived. Isabel had given up the use of her magic for her love of Robert and never told him about her nature, as she was afraid to ruin the place of their wedding. However, the child Minerva displayed small but noticeable signs of magic from her earliest hours. She had no control of her magic, like summoning toys and making the family cat do whatever she wants. Isabel knew she must confess to her husband about her daughter's magical abilities, and so she finally did, explaining everything to Robert and telling him that they were bound to the international statute of secrecy and that they must conceal the truth about their magical abilities for their safety. The two parents remained together despite the shocking revelation, but their trust never was the same. Minerva later had two brothers, Malcolm and Robert Jr., who revealed the magical abilities in the right time. On Minerva's 11th birthday, she received her letter from Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, at the time headed by Professor Armando Tippett. Before coming to the school, she visited diagonally and purchased her wand from Ollivander's wand shop. The wand she selected was 9.5 inches, fair and dragging her string. Before leaving to Hogwarts, Minerva saw how her mother supped that day, not only out of pride but also out of envy. Minerva later attended Hogwarts. During her sorting, the sorting hat spent 5.5 minutes wavering between Gryffindor and Ravenclaw before deciding to place her in Gryffindor. Minerva's school career was in the same year as Pomona Sprout, and the two students enjoyed an excellent relationship both then and in later years. Minerva was quickly recognized as the most outstanding student of her year, with a particular talent for transfiguration. She played for Gryffindor Quidditch team in her student years, in which she proved to be gifted. However, she suffered a nasty fall in her final year, a fall during the Gryffindor vs Slytherin match. By the end of her education at Hogwarts, she had achieved an impressive record: top grades in OWLs and NEWTs, Prefect, Headgear, and winner of the Transfiguration Today Most Promising Newcomer Award. Albus Dumbledore, the Transfiguration teacher by then, guided Minerva to manage to become an animagus, her animal form which was a cat, and was locked in the Ministry of Magic's Animagus Registry. After graduating from Hogwarts, Minerva was offered a position at the Department of Magical Law Enforcement of the British Ministry of Magic. During these months, an 18-year-old Minerva met Dougal McGregor, a local Muggle who was the handsome, clever, and funny son of a local farmer. The two shared a sense of humor, argued hardly, and suspected mysterious deep in each other. Minerva fell in love with McGregor, being the first and only time in her life that she might have been falling in love with someone. Eventually, McGregor proposed to Minerva on a field, and she accepted his offer. That night, however, Minerva was unable to tell her parents of her engagement. Thinking about her future, she realized that within a Muggle who didn't know that she was a witch would mean Minerva would follow her mother's footsteps and lived unhappily with her wand locked away, destroying all of her ambitions. Early next morning, Minerva went to tell McGregor she had changed her mind and could not marry him, aware that if she broke the international statute of secrecy and told him why, she would lose the job at the ministry, for which she was giving him up. She could give him no good reason for her change of heart, leaving McGregor devastated, and left for London 3 days later. These months were to prove some of the most difficult of Minerva's life. Minerva was among the most effective, gifted employees in the Department of Magical Law Enforcement. After some time, Minerva sent an owl to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, asking whether she might be considered for a teaching post. The owl returned within hours, offering her a job in the Transfiguration Department under head of department Albus Dumbledore. Through her efforts and work, Minerva proved to be a strict teacher, maintaining control of her students that made her someone not to be crossed. By this time, Minerva was shocked to learn from her mother that Dougal had married the daughter of another farmer. Albus discovered Minerva in tears in her classroom late that evening, and she confessed the whole story to him. He offered both comfort and told Minerva some of his own family stories previously unknown to her. The confidences exchanged that night formed the basis of a lasting friendship. Through her early years at Hogwarts, Minerva remained close friends with her former boss in the ministry, Elphinstone. He proposed marriage to Minerva, but she was surprised, embarrassed, and still in love with Dougal. She declined. However, the two still remained in contact for years. Later on in her career, Minerva rose to the position of head of the Transfiguration Department, and she was also appointed the position of head of Gryffindor House. After he became headmaster, Dumbledore did later on trust Minerva enough to allow her to become deputy headmistress of the school and take his position the occasions of his absence. After the first rise of Dark Lord Voldemort, Minerva took part in fighting back against Lord Voldemort and his Death Eaters, though she still taught at Hogwarts during that time. Even so, McGonagall chose not to join the Order of Phoenix, which was regarded inappropriate by the Ministry at the time. At the end of the war, Minerva suffered personal heartbreak, the loss of her brother Robert, and two of her favorite students, Lily Evans and James Potter, and also Dougal McGregor, her last lover, who was murdered in a random anti-Muggle attack by the Death Eaters. This last news was a terrible blow to Minerva, who wondered if she would have been able to save him if she had married him. After the First Wizarding War had ended, Minerva continued on with her career at Hogwarts, carrying on teaching the art of transfiguration. Minerva traveled to Privet Drive and there spent an entire day observing the Dursley family, seeing whether or not they convenient to look after Harry, as they were his only living relatives, what his parents now did. What she saw horrified her. The Dursleys couldn't have been any less like Lily and James if they had tried. Later at night, she was present along with Rubius Hagrid when Dumbledore placed Harry on the Dursleys' doorstep, despite her objections to leaving him with these muggles, whom she considered to be the worst kind of them. These people would never understand him. He'll be famous, a legend. I wouldn't be surprised if today was known as Harry Potter Day in the future. There will be books written about Harry. Every child in our world will know his name. She kept a close eye on Harry from time to time during his early childhood. Elphinstone, who had never stopped loving her, proposed every now and then until she finally accepted after Dougal's death. Their engagement happened during a summertime stroll around the lake of Hogwarts grounds. The retired Elphinstone bought a small carriage for the two of them in Hogsmeade so that Minerva could travel easily to work every day. The couple had no children. 3 years into their marriage, Elphinstone sadly died from a venomous tentacular bite. Minerva, who couldn't bear to remain alone in their cottage, packed her things after her husband's funeral and returned to Hogwarts. Always a brave and private person Minerva was, she put all her energies into her work, and few people, excepting Dumbledore, ever realized how much she suffered. Minerva was still teaching at Hogwarts in 1991, when Harry Potter, whom she had been watching over for many years, started his first year of education. Minerva was officially appointed to the position of headmistress in 1998 by the Hogwarts Board of Governors. She remained in this position to at least 2020.